Roastbrief community, we are in the second day of Exma 2024 and we have the pleasure to talk to Dain Walker. How do you feel today? How do you feel in your conference?
I feel energized, man. I love being around people. I love these events. And anytime I get to talk about branding, I'm excited.
Incredible. To start with this conversation, I will ask you, what is your creative process? You talk about disruptive ideas. Can you share with us your creative process when you have to develop a project or a business with an enterprise or with a brand?
Yeah, I think the creative process should always start in chaos.
Perfect.
Right? So oftentimes entrepreneurs, we try to come at the problem with the perfect plan, but as is everything, nothing ever goes to plan and nothing's ever perfect. So what I mean by chaos is you want to come up with all the crazy, silly, outrageous ideas first and put everything on the table. And then when you have all the information, you start pulling out the best parts of it and asking yourself strategically, can we make this work? Until you find something that works, then you test it, you blueprint it, and then you roll it out. So I think all brands, they try to start off without being creative. They skip the creative process, and I think it's so important.
We have an incredible example that you shared with us that was liquid death.
Yeah.
That was something simple became into something disruptive, right?
Yes.
You can share with us something about it?
Yeah, I think disruption is about literally doing what no one's doing, right? Like if all the companies look historical, look futuristic. If everyone's being calm, be aggressive. If everyone's using blue, use any other color except blue. Like I think, in the case of liquid death, they were like, okay, everyone's using plastic bottles. Everyone looks tranquil and peaceful and calm. Let's look toxic, dangerous, put it in a can and make it seem like it's outrageous. Instead of being friendly, let's be outrageous and offensive. And I think that if you looked at that as a business plan, no one would agree that that would work. Yet, when he rolled it into the market, people liked that he was doing something fun with the water brands. That's why it worked. And that's why so many people aren't getting growth in their businesses because they're not being creative enough. They're not exploring unique ideas.
Totally agree. What do you consider are the challenges that you have to struggle with when you are developing a strategy to a brand or enterprise?
Usually the biggest challenge.
And who you overcome it?
Okay, do you want to know my actual biggest challenge?
Yeah.
So when you work with big companies, usually you work with the CMO, and their job is to keep their job and to play it safe. So when we're developing strategy that's going to get attention on the market, when the team see it, they panic because they're like, we don't want to be unsafe. We just want to do what everyone else is doing because that's always worked for us. But it's the companies that have the courage, and it's the employees of these teams that have the courage to go, no, let's do something different. Let's push boundaries, let's break rules, let's do something infinitely interesting and different. They're the ones that win. The biggest challenge and the way I overcome it is I try to sit with these people and I try to unpack their fear so they try something new with their strategy.
They have to challenge themselves.
They have to challenge their ideas and they have to get a little bit uncomfortable.
Totally agree.
Great branding is uncomfortable.
Finally, the last question for this incredible conversation, could you share with us or with all community an advice for all the entrepreneurs, the creative people and the businessmen to develop and get their goals?
I think the biggest thing I've done personally is I try to do something little every day. Like I treat every day like, can I be 1% better today? And can I leave it all out on the table?
Totally.
I don't want to procrastinate. I don't want to wait. I think the reason my company has grown so quickly is because I move with urgency. Like you wake up, you're like, today I have to make something happen. Like I have to. It's almost like an athlete training for the championship. I can't waste a day. And if you're truly an entrepreneur, that means you're obsessive. And if you're obsessive and you're not putting that energy into growing your company, maybe you're not an entrepreneur.
Adiós, comunidad de Roastbrief.